This episode of Super Boothers is brought to you by PB Backdrops. Get anything you need for your photo booth business, like featherless boas, custom pillow cover backdrops, retractable banners, and much more. Visit their website at pbbackdrops.com and use promo code SuperBoothers10 at checkout for 10% off. Hello and welcome to Super Boothers. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Ismail.
I just did a fabulous event.
Did you really?
I actually did. So I judged Miss Texas this past weekend.
Is that the first time you've done this?
So this is a little bit of a pageant thing, and I have no clue how I got wrapped into doing this. But there are multiple systems. So last year in 2017, I judged Miss Texas for the America system. That's the big one where they have like Miss America in Atlantic City. This year, I judged Miss Texas for the United States system. So if you have seen the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock,
classic,
and Benjamin Bratt, that is based off of I was going to call him Ben Bratt because he's my friend, and we're just on a shortened name basis like that.
It's also Sandy Bullock, not Sandra. If you're friends with her, yeah.
I've actually been to her house in Austin, but anyways, that's a podcast of a different nature. No, so we ended up. I judged Miss Texas for the United States system. It's always a great experience. I will say the Miss America system, I was sequestered for a week in a hotel, not being able to talk to the outside world. It was difficult. I mean,
that must be rough.
You're judging, I think we judged like 65 girls. I mean, it was just so intense. So intense. I mean, the production was just larger, like it's just a big thing. But this year was not as intense. There were only, I think, about 20 girls in the competition. We did the interviews in the morning, and then the evening show was at night, and it was a great little thing. But point of it is, I donated the photo booth for it.
Why did you do that?
These girls, they're very talented, and they really are committed to their platforms of just kind of making the world a better place. The United States system has a motto of beauty with a purpose, which I believe the Super Boothers podcast absolutely entails beauty with a purpose.
I imagine at this type of event, you didn't have to use the beautify filter.
I absolutely did. Are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah, really. Like everyone wants to look 10 times more amazing.
It's full of beautiful people. You don't have to do that.
You can make them prettier. Just saying. So anyways, what I did do is I put on so Miss America has their crown, USA has their crown, United States has their crown. They're all different. In the movie Miss Congeniality, they have like a huge I guess it's like the Statue of Liberty in one of the ending scenes, and it's a really cool crown. It has like a lot of points on it, like it's really blinged out, like it's really cool. What I did was I took a digital version and made it a digital prop. That way, every guest that went through the theater could take a photo with a crown on their head.
No, that's creative.
I thought it was the coolest flipping thing I've ever seen. I did this. I did the artwork for it. It was so stupid easy. I have no clue, but the impact that it created was just phenomenal.
You know what's interesting is that I wonder if everyone has their own thing that, like their own perspective that they can bring to things. Like you seem to be able to leverage creativity, and that's great. I don't know if I can do that in that way, but that doesn't mean that people can't leverage something. Like some people are just very friendly and they can get people engaged with the booth. I think you have to know what is your leverage point so you can utilize it to the benefit of your business. And it seems like for you, the creativity comes naturally.
Creativity really doesn't have to be, I mean, you can get inspiration from anywhere. I mean, it really wasn't a long shot for a photo booth person to say, hey, let's do a crown on everyone's head. That's not a long shot. I mean, it's very like on brand. I knew how to do it. It was very easy to Photoshop. If you can't Photoshop something like that, I'm sure someone can. I mean, just because you can't put it into action or you can't, bring it to fruition doesn't mean that it's not possible. It just means it's outside of your skill set or capability or whatever.
That's a good point. I think maybe you're saying you don't have to overcomplicate it. It doesn't have to be some crazy masterpiece creativity. It can be something as simple as the crown. And if you can't do it, you can find someone who can do it. It's not that big of a deal.
No.
So it's a convenient excuse that people like myself can use, but it's not really a valid excuse.
It was, truthfully, whenever I went through the booth, I took the photo of the crown on my head. I thought it was the coolest thing. And yet I was the one that did it. Like, it was a very weird moment for me because normally I've said before, I'm dead inside. I've done this so many years. It's just comes natural to me. It just doesn't affect me. It was so cool for me to do that.
What about the reactions of the people? Did you know that it was a hit quickly?
A hit times a million. I had fathers putting it on their head. It was just the coolest experience ever. And it was nice to be a part of it. That way we could kind of create something that, and again, it was something so simple as just putting a crown on someone's head. It was just a simple digital prop.
So is there any advice you'd give to people? Like, how do they drill down into their own business and utilize creativity in that way?
So this is, and I thought about that. I'm so glad you asked. Thank you so much, Ismail.
It's what I'm here for.
No, so I got an email today from a client, and actually I'm going to pull it up right now just so I can be sure that I'm getting this correct, just because, I really think that it's kind of important that you really set yourself up for this. So my client goes, so this email comes in, she goes, "Hi Ryan, how are you doing?" She goes, "Our spring party is glow. It, is on this date. Do you have availability? ? No printing, period." I love that. She goes, "It's going to be super fun. It's a neon dance party in our main auditorium. We're doing LED break dancers, aerialists, you name it, plus yummy food and drink. Let me know. XO." And then she signs her name. So I reply, I wrote, "Yes." I said, "I can do a cool neon animated background."
Wait, start that again. I didn't catch it.
"Yes, I can do a cool neon animated background." It was literally, that's all I responded. And she wrote back, "Love it," with 10 exclamation marks. So what can we learn from this? What I am saying is, first of all, I'm selling my personality to my client. So by me saying, "Yes," I'm saying,
That's got to be like a meme or something.
I know it's going to happen. I'm waiting.
Somebody make a GIF or something
Someone
like that,
make a GIF of me saying "yes." So this is the thing is, by saying that, I am conveying to my client, again, this is very methodical. I'm not doing this just for the hell of it. There's a method to being gay. So it's called a gay agenda. No, I'm kidding.
Be careful. Be careful. I don't want another negative
whatever.
review.
So anyways, so by saying that, I'm conveying to my client, yes, we are on the same page. I know exactly what I can do for you. So I have no clue how I'm going to do this. I mean, I'm sure I'll go to, Shutterstock or iStock Photo or something and buy a neon background or something like that I can input into a green screen. But that's the thing is, you really don't have to overcomplicate things. So I know that I can go in, I can purchase something similar that I want for rather cheap. I'm pretty sure I'm going to spend no more than $10, 25 if I'm feeling nice. Put it in the back of in our system, and then just let them, have fun with it.
And I think what that client is looking for is for you to kind of validate that you understand their needs. So they want to pass that on to somebody else, and they don't want to think about it. Here's the theme, here's this, can you do it? And when you respond the way you do, they just feel comfortable.
How do they respond?
I don't know. I will not be part of that gift.
Come on, do it.
Yes, madam.
Yes, thank you so much. So anyways, so this is what I'm saying is, by selling creativity it doesn't have to be that difficult. Even if you don't know what you want to do, but you kind of understand the feel of what they want to accomplish. There's so much that happened in these two exchanges right here. So by saying, "Yes," I am validating to her, hey, we are on the same page. I know what you want. I will take care of it. See you at the event.
You're also speaking her language.
I'm getting carte blanche from her. By her saying love it means take care of it. You know what I want. Give me what I want. It's fine. Whatever you come up with, I will love. And that's the thing, is by setting the standard, you just need to know what this client is going for. So for example, if you have, this can be accomplished with a bride. And there are some like copyright issues with this, but generally not really. There's kind of ways around it. With a bride, if they say, can you do something, with this? Well, send me your invitation. Let me see what your invitation looks like. And you can say, I can take this and translate it into something very on brand, very beautiful, matches with everything. And you can take pieces and elements from that invitation and put it into your system, whatever that system may be, whether you're using Darkroom or Curator or Snappic or whatever. There are ways for you to make sure that that theme is still cohesive. I had a client who they were doing a father-daughter dance. She said, we're doing a theme, Welcome to Candyland. I went on Shutterstock. I found a background similar to Candyland that's a vector. Sent it to her. I said, what do you think of this? She's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to show this to the committee. I mean, it doesn't take that much. You don't necessarily have to be a creative person to sell creativity.
I just can't help but laugh because people out there are probably struggling to book people, and they're researching what to say and buying PDFs and looking for scripts. And really what just happened here is it's like like high school girls texting each other. XOXO, yes. And love it. And that's it. And that's how money is exchanged.
No, that is the thing is you just need to remove that from your client, especially if they have money. You know what? Here's another thing. So this is where you can also kind of get into trouble. So this client I've worked with before, I know how to speak her language. There are other clients where, you know what? If it's a brand new client, they don't know you. I'm not saying I would shoot out Yaaaassssss to someone I don't know. I'm not sure I would do that. I've done it where I've been at the event. Actually just did it a couple weeks ago at that pitch thing in downtown Dallas. Someone was taking photos. She was like in the beautify filter and just fixing her hair and just kind of being in the moment and just really feeling herself. And she took the photo and I was like, listen, here's what I want you to do. She had big, gorgeous hair. I told her, I said, turn your head around. I said, when I tell you to, I want you to turn your head. And we were doing a boomerang. So here she is, turns around. I say, go. She flips her gorgeous hair and her hair is like flowing all over the place. And then it does a boomerang. So it goes back and forth. It was the most amazing photo. By helping her, I know what a boomerang is going to do. I know what she needs to do to accomplish what look she's trying to go for, even though she may not know it. So what I do is I go in there, be the creative director of her little photo booth session, tell her what to do, help her give her direction to where she's going to come out with a photo that she loves. She flips her hair. The hair's amazing. It's all great. She is sharing that photo till the high heavens come.
Yeah, you're bridging the gap. She knows what it wants to look like, but she doesn't really know how to get there. You know how to get there.
So this is how I explain things to my attendants. And this is why I really appreciate the level of care that they go into helping people create photos. One issue that I have is green screen. I generally use a smaller green screen. I use a 5x7, it's small. I mean, you can absolutely use, an 8-foot or a 10-foot. I'm not going to lug that stuff around all across the country. That's just me. However, whenever I'm using a smaller one and we're in a smaller space, it kills me whenever I see part of that screen not in the photo. Like not all of it is covered out. So this is what I tell people, my attendants. I say, staff.
You don't call them cast members?
No, I could say staff. They come, they go. I don't learn their names. So I say, staff, you need to help people create a perfect photo. I don't want to see any of the edges. And the reason why is if it's not perfect, someone isn't going to share that photo. I want people to share that photo. If you don't create something that's not shareable, it's just going to sit there and do nothing. If you create something that is shareable, you don't know who's in your photo booth. I did a beauty event at some stupid trade show for some makeup thing. The photo booth was there. I just left it. There was a girl that is some beauty blogger. She posts the photo using the link. She didn't download it. She posted the link to where it shows that it came from us. That thing went viral. She got something crazy like 50,000 likes on it.
That's crazy.
You don't know who's going to be in your photo, so every photo needs to be perfect.
You know what the other interesting kind of meta thing going on here is you've built somehow a clientele that responds to this stuff, that responds to you talking that way, that responds to you.
What do you mean that way?
I just picture Mean Girls, basically.
Yeah,
the
pretty much
2018 version.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So how do you, I don't even know if you can answer that question, but you have built that kind of clientele where they trust you, they rely on you, they don't want to deal with it. You just deliver whatever, you understand what they want, you speak their language. So I think there's an important lesson to take away there for people listening is that maybe you don't do it the way Ryan does it. Maybe you don't do it the way I do it. You have to do it your way. And by sticking to doing it the way you do it, you attract people who relate to that and respond to that. So don't try to copy someone else's way. It's going to not work out very well for you. Stick to your own.
Absolutely love Brian Ginsburg saying yes to actually he probably could get away with it.
Well, imagine me trying to do that. It won't work very well.
No. It would not work at all. But see, that's the difference between you and I. You're a little bit more corporate.
And that works well for, companies in New York City.
For sure.
So you just have to stick to what is authentic to you is what I'm getting at.
Well, and that's another thing is I attract brands that are similar to me. So, for example, Amazon is one of my clients. Amazon is very much t-shirt and jeans and let's just make it happen. And yes, now they absolutely have a little bit more of a brand standard. However, the staff that's operating out of there, they still do t-shirt and jeans at events. So
do you have any advice for people who are struggling with being authentic? They feel the pressure of trying to mimic other people. And it's hurting them in the long run to do that. I don't know. I think that I've very much become, the green screen person. I have no clue how that is or why. I mean, I think that, well, actually, I do know why. So I did it at one event and there were a lot of influential people at that event in that particular city that everyone started booking me immediately after the fact. I mean, immediately after the fact. Like I had phone calls the next day, unlike any other event that I've done before. So by whenever I get those phone calls, the referrals are the best way because you can say, hey, listen, let me do this. Let me do my thing. This is what we do. Kelly Williams is just amazing at that. What stands out to me with what you just said is that it seems like this stuff happens organically, right? You didn't set out to be the green screen guy. You were doing events. You saw that people responded to that and reacted to that, and you just chased it. It's not like you intended that from the get-go. I think you have to go out there, put yourself out there, work these events, and pay attention to what people respond to. And once you see that reaction, throw fuel on the fire. Yeah, I mean, it's just setting that expectation to where, you are telling someone, let me make your event better. Let me solve that problem. Let me make you the best party of the year. So do you have, like some people tell me about how they have these high maintenance brides that are very detailed and they have to go over everything. And do you have those clients anymore? And if so, how do you deal with them? I have one bride that I was on the phone with and she was like, oh my God, I love your work, blah, 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 blah. She's like, here's what I want. She goes, I want the photo booth during cocktail hour. I don't want it during dinner. I want it after dinner during dancing. However, I want to switch it from where it was from during cocktail to after dinner. I want you there 3 hours before because our ceremony is at this time and I don't want you arrive. It was this long, complicated thing.
And the way how my pricing works is, I have idle time, I have hours of service. So I have, early delivery time, longer than an hour. So I went through and priced it out one by one by one by one by one. And then she's like, what about texting? Check. What about printing? Check. What about green screen? Check. What about props? Check. She was just kind of being overly, I don't know what the word is. She was just being very particular. I think that's just the best way to put it. So with that, I sent her exactly everything as she wanted. I was like, yes, absolutely. We will do all of this for you. Here's the line item of how much it's going to cost. And she's like, well, that's a lot for what I wanted. And da 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 da. I'm like, honey bun, I don't know what to tell you. Like, yes, we can accomplish it. I very rarely will say no to a client. Most of the time I will say yes. However, this is the number attached to it.
So it's about what price you can sell yourself for, basically.
I mean, kind of. She was a little bit too methodical about it. So I wasn't necessarily saying no to her. I'm just saying, hey, here's what this is actually going to cost. Now, whenever it came to, she was very particular. She was like, I want this font. I want this assist. I want blah, blah, blah. With those clients, here's the template. Do whatever you want to do with it. Send it back to me because I'm not doing this back and forth with you. If you have a client that is that particular, send it off. Tell them your requirements of what it needs. Hey, you know what? Here's a spot that the photo has to go into. All of the white stuff can be whatever you want it to be. Send it back to me in this format and we're good to go.
I mean, if I had to speculate, I think the clients that you have that book you over and over again and let you do your thing, that's basically trust, right? And it takes a while to build that trust. It's hard to do that with new customers unless they were referred by those people. But I like to think of it like, an accountant, that people rave about. You just go to that accountant, you say, here's my stuff, send me the bill.
Sure.
You're not really as concerned about the cost. Or if you have a great contractor, you know you're going to hire him. Be like, hey, I need you to fix my roof. And then whatever it costs, I'm going to hire you. That's the best place to be as a business owner. But it takes a while to earn that level of trust.
I don't think so, because there are times where whenever I first got started, I was able to do that. I think that you just have to be proactive in finding out what the problem is or what the end goal is or what someone wants to do. If you have an agency client, you have to have like the knowledge enough to know what they're going to want. You have to anticipate their needs. They're going to want analytics on all this stuff. You have to know ahead of time that you can provide it. So whenever you're on that initial phone call, you can say, hey, listen, we can give you this, 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 we can give this. Give out all that information before they ask for it. That way that way they know that you've done more, you've seen more, you've accomplished more, you know what they want.
I also think that's the power of referrals too, right? Because when someone refers you, you're borrowing their credibility off the bat. So it just sets you up on a higher trust level than it would have been otherwise.
When was the last time you were creative?
Me being creative in a design aspect or in general?
Yeah, no. I mean, both.
I am not someone who considers myself very creative. So I'd have to actually think about that for a while. I think a lot
Really?
I think I don't really handle that stuff. If I think about the design and those things, I have someone that I pass all that work to. Now, I do give ideas, so I'm good about being creative with ideas. I think, Ryan, you may have seen some of that with all the stuff that we've done. But to actually the detail of where to place things and how to make it look the way it looks, that's not my area of expertise. I like to work with a designer that understands what I'm trying to say. I give them the high-level idea and then let them run with it.
That's very interesting.
Are you surprised by that answer?
A little bit.
Well, think about the Super Boother stuff, right? So when we were thinking about name ideas and the logo and the colors, I'm not really that minutia of this is the color, this is how the font should be.
No, and I am.
But I can come up with a name. I can come up with ideas. I just can't. I don't think at the level of color schemes and fonts, really.
Well, here's what. I would like to challenge everyone to be creative for at least 30 minutes this week. I want everyone to come up with some crazy crackpot idea, play with your photo booth, and see if you can accomplish something new with your equipment.
That's a great challenge, and I think it'd be even greater if people post that stuff in our Facebook group, and let's see what people come up with. You might get inspired by someone else's crazy idea.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't already, please join our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/superboothers. And please tell us what you thought of today's episode. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week.